the office of the Assistant Chief of Kapsuser in Kericho, a tiny, dilapidated structure that betrays the chief's stature and title.
Hapa imekuwa siwe site. Hata kwa hii soko imekuwa mbaya zaidi. Hii ofisi ilikuwa ya chief. Lakini chief siku hizi ameama kwenda ile ya county. Hii ya chief.
In Nairobi's suburban estate of High Ridge, the chief's office has been squeezed onto a road reserve.
We really, as a country, have no excuse why we should have our national administrators in offices like that. But we need to put this in the right context. Offices of chiefs were established during colonial times, and the offices you are seeing were very fancy in 1963, but they are not fancy now.
What I have from my networks is that Chief Adira has one of the best offices. So that can tell you the situation on the ground.
In Kehancha's Ikerega area in Kuria, the construction of the chief's office stalled.
Chief anakaa hapa nje, anafanyia kazi hapa chini, unaona hata ameacha vitabu pale chini, ameenda town.
Despite the rundown, the office of the chief remains paramount. They are the government's boots on the ground.
And without chiefs, then I don't know how the police stations will look like today. Because chiefs are handling even small domestic issues. Identification, it is only the chief who actually knows you. And is the one who will be able to give the information that is required to register you. Birth certificates, you need the chief.
That they are the president's representatives at the grassroots is a role the Ministry of Interior reckons is crucial, especially now that they coordinate 34 national government functions.
While I'm here, I have signed about 5,000 letters employing assistant chiefs. We have 8,000 sublocations, meaning that only 3,000 sublocations in this country were being manned by assistant chiefs.
It is, however, felt in some quarters that the chief has lost a considerable amount of powers and perhaps the honor that accompanies power.
And there was a very big push to scrap it at the introduction of the devolved system of government. And because of that, the understanding was that within 5 years it shall be scrapped. And we started seeing some neglect.
Now, when they highlight their plight today, then we start intimidating them, harassing them, torturing them. Because what happened to Chief Adira, going to an extent of taking you and locking you up in the police cells, that is torture and harassment.
He is accused of trying to fraudulently get money out of the city council for liquor licenses. He must deal with that. Let us not bring the office matters, the way the structure is. That is not the worst of the offices in the country if you have actually some pictures. That's why we are very serious. We want to intervene. That is why we have asked for 2.3 billion from Treasury to correct that problem. That is historical.
Each chief will be allocated up to 10 million shillings and sub-chiefs 5 million for refurbishment and maintenance of their offices. The Interior Principal Secretary says these offices are expected to transform into ultra-modern, well-furnished buildings like this in Cabernet by the time President Uhuru's term comes to an end. In the meantime, some chiefs have found decent working spaces among other government offices like in Calabar in Bungoma.
Iko well furnished. Wateja wanapokuja hapa wanahudumiwa vizuri bila changamoto, bila kupendelea upande wote.
We have looked at their medical scheme and we are developing what we are calling field service regulation. That will look at their risk allowances because they are exposed to a lot of risks, these people. They are the front line of fire. The totality of what I'm telling you is 1.2 billion per year.
The chief's mobility was the first step, according to PS Kibicho. Their accommodation and offices is the next item on government's agenda. Silvia, Chebet, Citizen TV.